What? Come on, why are you stuttering now? The environment became more and more tensed by the seconds passing by as her heartbeat raced, as her breathing became uneven. You're going to answer me or not? Gritting his teeth in anger, he asked her as the grip he had on his phone seemed to get tightened as anger rushed through his veins, scaring the little girl to her core. Her lips were quivering as she trembled. This question struck her mind right there. She tried gathering some of her courage to say something, but how could she do it? He was looking her dead in the eye with his veins popping out with immense anger. You're going to answer me or not? His way of reacting and talking showed mixed emotions, and yet for God's sake, stop stuttering and speak, you understand? It looked as if he was preventing himself from bursting out on her. Of course, no, she said, stammering, and then it looked as if he released a sigh of relief. Taking a last glance at her, he walked to their shared bedroom with his heart thumping, feeling as if it will come out. Hoods are wild creatures caged by ribs. Bloody hell, as if I care whatever you did, he muttered under his breath, and Wine seemed not to hear it. She quietly walked off to the kitchen once he already reached the stairs. He sat on the couch, murmuring to himself, I do not care, right? Whatever she does, and I have got no interest in knowing things, right? Of course, right. It's her life, let her do whatever she wants. Precisely, none of my concern. He walked to the bathroom in order to take a cold shower to feel calm. Stood near the gate, her confused Wine. She didn't hear whatever he was muttering for so long. All she heard was piss, 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 piss. She walked over to the nightstand, keeping the glass of water there. YNPOV seems as if he has gotten possessed by some ghost. What was that murmuring all about? Oh God, it's so difficult to understand him. I guess he's taking a shower. The weather's quite cold today. Does he wants to catch a cold? Probably no. He's all grown up, but I hear no sound of water. Let me just ask him something. And POV. She slowly walked to the bathroom door and gathered up some courage to ask this stupid question. Hey, are you taking a bath? She sounded meek, obviously scared, but then he replied, So you think I'm dancing in here instead of taking a bath? He sounded calm, but it seemed off to her. She spoke meekly. No, I mean, I don't hear any sound of water. You're speaking too much, aren't you? He spoke, but this time his voice sounded a bit serious, and it scared her. She shut her mouth up as she flinched a bit. She quietly walked back to the bed, sitting on it as she heard the sound of water dropping on the floor. She was fidgeting with her fingers as she sat quietly there. She wanted to ask him if he would allow her to visit her aunt's home because she had received a call from her aunt in order to visit her, and obviously she threatened her. As Wine quietly waited, sitting there with her fingers fidgeting with each other, the bathroom's door opened swiftly, making a little swish sound. She looked up to see that he is there, standing with just a towel on his torso as water droplets continued to fall off from his wet hair, lingering on his face, making him look divine. She looked up at his face and accidentally they locked up eyes with each other, and within a second or two, she immediately broke off the eye contact as her cheeks flushed crimson red as he stood there. Looking at her for a minute and walked to the mirror as he smiled, noticing her crimson red cheeks. He was rubbing another white towel to his hair in order to dry it up, but something clicked his mind. He sat on the couch, which faced the bed, and threw the white towel at her softly. She flinched as she suddenly received the flying towel. She looked up at him immediately, only to notice him sitting on the couch with a smirk as her cheeks turned more crimson red. He looked at her, speaking huskily, "Get up here and dry my hair." She nodded almost immediately, rushing to the couch with the white towel in her hands. She stood behind him as his head rested on the couch. She put the towel on his hair and started drying it up as he spoke lowly in his husky voice. "Oh dear, your cheeks are getting a lot red recently. Tell me, why?" Her eyes widened immediately hearing this, but it widened more when he opened his eyes directly looking into hers as his head rested on the couch. "Can you tell me why?" Speaking in such a husky voice made her feel butterflies with such red cheeks. Wayne tried changing the topic by asking, "I wanted to ask you something." He chuckled, knowing she has become shy, so he let her change the topic and quietly closed his eyes as he hummed, allowing her to speak further. "I needed your permission," she spoke meekly as he frowned a bit with his eyes still closed, speaking lowly. "Permission about what? I actually..." Taehyung grabbed her right hand, pulling her to the front side of the couch slowly and settling her on his lap almost within 2 seconds as her eyes widened immediately. He had his eyes still closed as he spoke huskily. "Keep drying my hair as you speak." Wyan nodded, forgetting he had closed his eyes and realizing it. She slapped her forehead slowly as she began drying his hair, and being so close to him made her cheeks burn red continuously as she speaks, stammering, "I had to go to my aunt's house." "For what?" He spoke lowly, yet his eyes still closed. She spoke again. "She invited us, so I have to go along with you." He opened up his eyes, looking at her as he said that, making her note immediately as her breath hitched. He chuckled huskily, speaking, "You have a mouth, sweetheart." "You," said. She felt butterflies in her stomach as he called her sweetheart for the first time. She immediately said yes with her crimson red cheeks as she stammered. She felt a bit loved for the first time. He picked her up by her thighs and catching up on her neck as he walked to the bed, laying her on it. He switched off the lights, laying beside her. "Take rest." She was worried, not knowing if he had granted her the permission yet. This doubt made her speak again as she spoke. "So, we will go there tomorrow?" He hummed slowly as she immediately nodded, but something made her speak again, and this time, surprisingly, she didn't stammer. "You did not have dinner. Can we go have some? I have already eaten. You haven't eaten yet." He spoke lowly as his back faced her. She spoke. I'm still full from the lunch." He hummed, knowing she was telling the truth. She eats very less and no use of forcing her to eat. She'll throw up, so he never forces her to eat, yet tries to feed her more little by little by ordering the maids to take care of her, whatever it is he can deny. She is his wife and ultimately has to take care of her. He turned to see what she's doing. Turned out she was quietly looking up at the ceiling, drowned in thoughts. He sighed, not feeling sleepy, huh? She flinched as her chain of thoughts broke. She looked towards him, shaking her head. Why is that so? He spoke as his voice sounded husky as usual. She spoke meekly. I don't know. Before she was able to complete her sentence, he pushed his head in the crook of her neck as he held her by her waist. Her eyes widened as her breath hissed. It felt as if she forgot how to breathe for a minute. He put his rough hand on her head, caressing it as he spoke huskily. Sleep. She closed her eyes as his hand caressed her slowly and slowly. She drifted to her dreamland and so did he. Both of them slept in each other's arms. Next morning, Taehyung on the driving seat was driving towards her aunt's house as she sat on the passenger seat, looking outside the window as he stole some glances of her. She looked so calm, yet a bit nervous. He played some soft music, making her look at him almost immediately. You know the way, right? Taehyung sighed, speaking huskily. I do. She moved her head back to where it was, quietly looking outside. A few minutes later, they reached at her aunt's house. 1 hour later, after meeting her aunt and uncle, Taehyung was resting in his wife's bedroom. As her aunt was cooking lunch for the family, including them, they requested him to stay, so he agreed. He chuckled, remembering their scared faces. Obviously, they invited him too, but would have never expected that he would actually come, and to be honest, he wouldn't have come, but he did because of his naive wife. He can't let them mistreat her. She was sitting by the window as he rested on the bed. She seemed so quiet today. For some reason, which he did not know, he sighed, calling her sweetheart. She immediately looked back at him. Her expression said that she was asking if he needed something. He chuckled, speaking, Come here. She walked up to him and sat beside him on the bed. He placed a hand on her cheek, caressing it as he spoke, watching her crimson red cheeks. Has something happened? She quietly shook her head, looking down. She opened up her mouth to speak, but before her, someone else spoke. He heard it, and she heard it too, but the door was locked and the window did not creak open too. Being the skilled Mafia King, he took out his pistol and fired it near the almirah and not on the almirah. Purposely, they had heard. Why don't you give us the property? Thanks for watching this far, and I'm sincerely sorry for being late every time. And now the series does not have too many parts. So to know what happens next, stay tuned. To subscribe, share, like and comment and let me know how it is.